How I Manifested $20 million. The recent post with all the successes compiled inspired me to post my own. In the beginning of my career, I made a respectable $200,000 a year. I realized this is the dream salary of many, including me at the time. But when I started manifesting, I really wanted to push the limits of what I could do. I thought of a dream salary. I came up with $2.2 million a year. At the time, I remembered someone saying that's how much someone made, and it seemed so far-fetched of an income that I wanted it to be my dream. I want to emphasize that I had no pathway to make this much. It was a ludicrous dream. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I wrote the number 2.2 on a card and put it in my wallet, so I could see it every day. I started doing sets. At night, I envisioned huge stacks of money. I envisioned huge checks made out to me. I saw huge amounts of money in my bank account. It didn't take long for things to change. People, circumstances, and events happened. By the end of that year, I was making money at a much higher rate. I was achieving my goal. I kept envisioning the money as I went to sleep each night. Sometimes I felt a warm vibration as I did so. Shortly after each of these, something would happen to make me a lot more money. Several twists happened along the way. One thing was that I got attacked by my business partners. They were getting jealous of me. It took a legal battle, but I came out victorious, and the bad guys left. It was definitely a bridge of incidents. I have made exactly $2.2 million for the past 8 years. I invested most of the money, and I now have a net worth of $20 million. My goal is $30 million. I expect to reach that soon. I wish all of you abundance like I have found. Note, I do not want to say what field my occupation is in. I assure you it is legal, and I help people in my job. I had a lot of response to my last post about manifesting money, and some of you have asked about other manifestations. Here's a simple story about one of my first ones. Like everyone else, I heard so many stories about manifesting a parking spot. Honestly, I thought it was kind of silly at first. But every day I drove into a parking garage, and there was that spot. A choice place right beside the exit, and a little bit larger, so the doors of other cars won't ding mine. It was the best parking spot in the whole parking garage. The only problem is that parking deck was always full, and that spot seemed to be the first chosen by everyone else. So I took some time manifesting that spot, just for fun. I would do visualizations, and every time I saw the spot, I would say, that one is mine. A few weeks later, I started getting that parking spot. The garage would be completely full otherwise, but that spot was empty. And then later that spot was always empty. This was years ago. Nowadays I drive to work, pull into the garage, and park in my spot. Every single day. Every single day. It doesn't matter how many cars are in the garage. Sometimes the garage is completely full. That spot is almost always empty, as if someone has put a sign there that says reserved. I can recall maybe 2 times in the past year I had to find another spot. That's how consistent it is. It was fun to play with this, and was a fun use of what I have learned. Update after 2 years. Almost $30 million net worth. Hello everyone. I made a post in this community a while back. It's been 2 years since I made my first post to this community. You can search my post history, and several of you have asked me for an update. Here it goes. First, a little about me. I was born in abject poverty in an abusive household. I struggled growing up and had to endure things a human being should not endure. I was also briefly homeless for a while. The only person who loved me, my mother, died when I was young. I had no lucky breaks in my life. I owe all of my success to the study of self-improvement, the study of manifestation, and from learning from teachers, such as Neville Goddard. I am glad to say that I am very happy. I am still living the life of my dreams, with a net worth now of a little less than $30 million, and with an abundance of friends, some of whom are quite famous. It's hard to pin down my exact net worth, because some of it is in art and in my house, so it would depend on how that is appraised at any given time. The point is, I'm close to $30 million now. Money is still my main manifesting focus. In my original post, I told how I set a goal of making $2.2 million a year and achieved it. A year ago, I unhooked my money flow from this belief. I now choose to believe that I don't have to make money from my job, and that now I can make it from investments alone. The universe answered almost immediately. I now make less than $2.2 million a year at my job, but my investments have surpassed that level. In other words, I realized that making $2.2 million a year from working is a sort of limiting belief, and that I can make more money through means other than my job. The universe responded. I initially set my goal at $30 million net worth. As I am closing in on this milestone, I realize how short-sighted I was. I achieved my goals too fast, and I should have thought on a bigger scale. I've reframed my goal to $100 million now. Don't make the mistake I made. Set your sights really high. There are fountains of money all around us. All we have to do is dip into them. Every day the universe presents us with abundant opportunities. Sometimes we have to be silent and listen to them. For instance, a while back I had to take my dog to the vet, and the vet told me that he wanted to do a test on my dog. He said it had to be a specific test, and that he only used that particular brand. My dog was fine, but I started feeling that there was an opportunity there. I researched the company that made the test and bought stock in it. I made about $100,000 in that stock before I sold it. We live in a world of great abundance. There are plentiful opportunities available to all of us. We have to remain quiet and listen for opportunities and act when inspiration happens. I am still friends with lots of famous people. I'm not famous myself by any means, which makes it all remarkable that I have famous friends. I did have a conscious desire to manifest people in my life who are interesting, and famous people are interesting to me. So it definitely shows that it's possible to do this. One common question I have been asked: do any of my famous friends study Neville or practice law of attraction? I never discussed these topics with anyone in real life, so I've never asked any of them. But I do have a few clues. One of my friends, mega famous, had a phrase he repeated over and over to himself. The phrase meant there are no limits. He even put this phrase on a plaque in his home. I'm pretty convinced he used manifestation either intentionally or accidentally. Likewise, another friend used visualization to achieve his success. He told me he rehearsed things and practiced things in his mind. I am convinced that every famous person manifested fame, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Needless to say, I am very grateful for knowing interesting and important people. I've learned from them, and that has made my life much richer. I'm still discovering new ideas and constantly improving myself. I've learned some things about manifestation since creating my initial post several years ago. I'd like to share my thoughts with you. Many of you have found this community because you are in pain. Maybe you've lost someone special to you. Or maybe you're hurting because you are in poverty. I am convinced that manifesting from a source of pain is not a good way to achieve success. Many people say, if only I can have _________, I will be happy. The blank could be filled with money, people, fame, or anything else that people long for. I'm here to say that is completely wrong. I know people with lots of money who are unhappy. I know famous people who are unhappy. Those things don't make happiness. Likewise, when we allow other people to create our happiness for us, they often fail at doing so. They create it the way they want, not how we want. So people don't make us happy. A special partner won't make you happy. Don't give other people the power to make you happy or unhappy. Keep that power to yourself. Happiness is something we create in our own lives. We are the creators of our own destiny. We are responsible for creating our own happiness. What is happiness? The best definition I have ever heard is that happiness is the full occupation of hands, mind, and heart. So I think it's important to focus on the creation of happiness first. Then, going forward, our manifestations are synchronized with the order of the universe. The success we achieve is really a product of the happiness we feel. I know some of you are saying, well, that's easy to say, but you don't know my circumstances. I can't create happiness because of how troubled I am. I often think of the Greek philosopher Epictetus. He was born a slave and slept on a bed of straw at night, chained to a wall. He believed that he did not choose the circumstances to which he was born, but he could choose to be happy. So he chose to be happy, and he was. If Epictetus can be happy chained to a wall and sleeping on straw, so can you in your own life circumstances. Happiness is a choice, not a result. Another thing I have learned: techniques don't manifest. Let's explore this idea. If I were learning the piano and wanted one simple trick as to how I can play the piano like a master musician without any study or practice. That wouldn't really work, would it? That's not to say that skilled pianists don't have certain techniques to play better. But overall, it's their constant routine of doing everything they can to play better that makes them who they are. Likewise, those people looking for that one technique to manifest are sort of on a wrong track. For instance, SATs is a great tool, but it's only a small part of what you should be doing. This is a lifestyle, not a magic trick. It requires practice and focus, just like being a concert pianist does. Self-improvement is a lifelong road. Achievements like a wonderful partner, money, success, etc. are just milestones along that road. It's fun to have desires. It's fun to manifest. The purpose of life, I am convinced, is to experience joy. I wish abundance and happiness on everyone who reads this. Keep reading Neville Goddard and the wisdom of other teachers, and do all you can to make your dreams come true.